Hello! Today I'm going to be doing a fun little video where I think about the things that if autism was looked into and accepted more in assigned female at birth people, I would have been diagnosed with autism a lot sooner and I would have saved myself a lot of hassle. Amazing. We love to see it. So yeah, I'm diagnosed with autism now, but I was not diagnosed with autism until I was a teenager, until I got into secondary school, which is something that happens for a lot of assigned female at birth autistic people, because we're socialized differently to young little boys. It's accepted that little boys aren't socially, what's the opposite of socially inept? Socially apt? That does not sound right. Nobody says socially apt. Yeah, but basically it's acceptable for little boys to not be good socially. It's acceptable for little boys to act out, and we'll look into it and we'll diagnose them with autism. And obviously, like, having autism can be an explanation for those things, and once they have the autism diagnosis, that's great for them. But it's not so great for people like me who never got diagnosed with autism and struggled. Yeah, that was an interesting experience that unfortunately many people experience. So yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff now. Okay, the first one I remember, I have like really weird random little memories from primary school that, like, I don't remember anything, like hardly anything, but these weird little memories from primary school, which is interesting, that my entire childhood is defined by these weird memories. So one of them is, so I had this friend, he was like one of my like closest friends, I guess. This was in reception, which, if you are not like familiar with the UK education system, it's like the first year of primary school where you basically just get to play around, and they also teach you like phonics and like easy maths. But basically you just get to play around, and it's like age 4 to 5. And I had like an injury on my arm, and I showed it to this friend, and he was like, "Oh, ouch." And I was like, huh? Like, why are you saying ouch? I'm the one with the injury, and the injury happened like 3 hours ago. And I was so confused, and I dwelled on it for about 3 days. That was an interesting experience. I guess also in nursery, I was literally just like, I've been told by, like, I've been identified by the people that worked at my nursery when I met them later, that I was that kid that sat and played with Thomas the Tank Engine instead of talking to other people. I was like put on this registry thing because they was like, I don't know what it was, like some kind of program, like, you know these programs that they make to like tick boxes and stuff. I was put on one of those, called Every Child a Talker, because they thought I couldn't talk, but I actually could talk, just didn't want to. I was a little emo child, age 3. Yeah, that's exciting. Oh my god, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, holy shit. Okay, so in year 4 was an experience for me. It was an experience. Oh god. But I'm going to talk about 2 specific things. And number 1 is my teacher. She was so, like, she really liked eye contact, and I hate eye contact. I physically cannot. I cannot talk to somebody. I cannot have a conversation with somebody while looking in their eyes. I can't do it. And she thought I was like being a rude little bitch when I did not want to look in her eyes. And she was like, "Look in my eyes. Why are you not? You need to maintain eye contact when you're having a conversation." I was like, I am like 8 years old. I am 8 years old. I do not need to maintain eye contact with you. And she was like, "Maintain eye contact with me." And I was like, it was a really scary experience, and it was very uncomfortable. So basically, a kind of like a lesser known part of autism, I guess, is like struggling to understand your body's cues. So like not knowing when you're hungry, when you need the toilet, when you're thirsty, when you're unwell. Not really like understanding the messages your body is giving you, and sometimes getting like mixed messages from your body. So basically, and I still to this day like have no idea why this happened so much, but I would feel unwell a lot. So much so that like my mum talked to my teacher because they were concerned that I was like being bullied or something, and that I was having like, it was like stress induced. Nothing that I remember was wrong.
Actually, thinking about it now, it could have been the fact that year 4 was just so stressful, and it was stress induced, potentially.
But I would just always tell my mum that I felt sick, and I don't even remember if I actually felt sick. Oh my god. This is embarrassing. Most of this is just embarrassing. I looked so stupid. So basic clothes and like hair and basically like anything to do with your body, I'm very sensitive about because of like sensory issues and stuff. So back then I was a little girl and I had to have my little girl hair up because little girls can't have short hair and little girls must have their hair up in primary school. I don't know why. For some reason in primary school they're obsessed with you having your hair up unless you have like a bob that's there, or you're a boy. Because boys can do whatever the fuck they want. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I always have my hair in like this really messed up ponytail, and I would always like pull it out and stuff because I didn't like having it tight. So I looked like I had been dragged through a hedge I looked like I had been dragged through a hedge backwards. Also wearing my skirt. So most people had their skirt like around here, like that was the top of the skirt, but I don't like having trousers like around here. I always sit any bottoms around here, like on my hip bones. So my skirt was always down here. And one day it was brought to my attention that that was not a normal thing to do. That was not a cool thing to do. And I was mocked for it by a child that was 2 years younger than me. So that was something that I could not accept, and so I started wearing my skirt higher up. I had this phase in year 6. Year 6 was traumatizing time. Traumatizing time. I fucking hated year 6. I want to remove that from my memories. That was when I started struggling with that. I think that was when the fact that I was not diagnosed with autism and so had no support or anything and had no understanding for how my brain worked began to take toll. And I was like, oh god, I don't think I'm doing so well. And I wasn't doing so well. So basically in year 6, I went through this phase where I was like, I'm going to be normal now. Because I was like, before I was like, I was not normal. I was like a tomboy, aka you were fucking trans. You were right. And you like didn't dress normally and you always spoke wrong and you didn't get other people. Totally like these are things that you couldn't help because you had a neurological disorder. So basically, if I'd known I was autistic, what I did in year 6 was like stop being autistic, and that went very well for my mental health. If you cannot tell, I'm being sarcastic. It did not go very well for my mental health. And a few years, well, that was when my eating disorder started, and a few years later, I was in the hospital nearly dead. So, lovely, lovely times. So, what this being cool phase entailed was basically building my entire personality off this one girl who was my gay awakening. Oh god. Oh god. And I didn't even see it as weird that I wore the same outfits as her. I did not see it as weird. My brain was not like, oh, that's weird. Why are you copying this other girl? That's a weird thing to do. My brain was like, she is cool. I'd be cool. I dress like her. I'd be cool. Didn't work. Didn't work. Is my hair doing something weird now? Oh no, it's not. Okay. So yeah, that was an interesting experience as well. And then all through like early secondary school, I guess, was a time. It was a time. To be honest, it still is a time. But it was even more of a time. And one of the things that was like, I think this was like very much a precursor to the kind of mentality that built my eating disorder on, is like the perfectionism and having like routines in my brain. So my eating disorder was not based around wanting to be thin. My eating disorder was based around the numbers in my brain, and if I could control those numbers correctly, I thought there was something that I could reach. It's very hard to explain that kind of mentality, and it's always hard for me to understand it now, now that I'm not in that mentality, even though it went on in my own brain. But I think a kind of precursor to that, as I was saying before, was like obsessive checking. And I have been told by psychiatrists that like I have like obsessive compulsive tendencies. I don't think I have OCD, but I think I do have like obsessive compulsions, which is like you have some traits and stuff, but you have the obsession, like the thoughts in your head and things that you do instead, but it's not disordered because it's not like as debilitating as it would be if you had OCD. That's how I understand it. So I would like check things multiple times even though I checked them, and I also knew I couldn't fix that, which is also like an autistic thing with just like the needing to have the control, because I felt like I had no control over anything else. Like in my life, I guess, because I had no idea who I was. I had suppressed everything I had learned about myself age about 9 or 10. I realized I was trans when I was 9 or 10, and I realized I liked girls when I was 9 or 10, and I suppressed all of that all the way through for a very long time, even though I knew the whole time, like deep down, but I was like, no, you can't be gay, because I didn't realize that bisexuality existed. So I was like, if I have a crush on a man, I'm not gay. And then I find out bisexuality exists, and I'm like, I'm queer. But it turns out I was also trans, so I was very queer. I had such queer vibes, to be honest. I'm sorry if you don't like that word, but I use that word a lot because I like it, because I like that it means weird as well. So I use it to describe myself a lot, because I'm LGBTQIA+, but I'm also weird. Yeah, that's nice. I used to shriek, oh my god, when my parents were putting suntan lotion on my neck. My neck is the most sensitive part of my body. If you touch my neck, you have violated me, and I fucking hate you forever. Yeah, I really don't like anything touching my neck. Autism. And there was another thing. I thought of another thing, and while I was saying that, and I've forgotten the thing because I was too busy saying it. What was the thing? Oh yeah. I do not blame my parents for like not realizing that I was autistic, but I do use this as like a thing to be like, you didn't listen to me. So mashed potato makes me want disgusting. Fucking hate it. I have no idea what that accent was. It's horrible. And I don't mind the taste. I like any kind of other potato, but mashed potato is fucking disgusting. Scum of the earth. disgustingness I literally gag. And I used to tell my parents, like, eating mashed potato makes me feel like I'm being sick. And they were like, huh? And I was like, it makes me feel like I'm being sick. And also, like, just the general thing that, like, nearly every autistic person is a fussy eater, but it's just because we don't like the textures of certain foods and certain tastes and smells really, really us. Like, it's not even that we don't like it, it's like our body is viscerally like, like, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Like, your body just rejects everything about it. And for me, that is mashed potatoes. Oh my god, I remember in primary school, the mashed potato was so fucking yellow. It was so fake. It didn't feel like mashed potato. It didn't taste like mashed potato. And it was bright yellow. What acid did they put in that? Oh, sorry, the macaroni cheese. Oh, now I'm having flashbacks to primary school dinners. Fun. So tasty. They were my favourite meals. That's so funny because I always say so tasty, like, about things that I like things that you don't even eat, but that actually fit. Yeah, their macaroni cheese was lumpy. And it was disgusting. Ew. I'm having horrible thoughts about that right now. Oh, I have a funny story to tell you. This is not about me, this is about my brother. When he was a baby, he used to eat spaghetti. And when he would eat spaghetti, because he was a baby, he was like shit at eating. And the spaghetti would get stuck halfway down his throat and he would be like, and my mum would have to like go in and pull the spaghetti out. And I remember just being at the table and being like, help. It was a weird experience. It was an interesting. Babies are interesting. Oh, this is actually one of the most autistic things I've ever done. Is I was so excited, right, to meet my little baby brother when he came out the hole.
I don't know why I'm acting like I don't like my brother now. Like, it gave vibes that I hate my brother. I don't hate my brother. My brother is not bad.
But I hated the hospital because I hated how it smelled. I still remember, like, the smell of that hospital. Even though I've been to that hospital since and it doesn't smell that way. Maybe it was just the maternity ward. I do not know. Anyway, I would not go near my mother, because she was, like, infected with the hospital juice in my brain and I was like, stay away. Yeah, that was a pretty autistic thing to do. The fact that I literally just turned on my own mother and also turned on the fact that I was so excited to meet my little baby brother, because I didn't like the smell of the hospital. And also because I just don't like going places that I don't know. And also it was like late, like he popped out quite late. And obviously like he pops out and then my mum calls my dad and is like, the baby is out, and then I go. I don't know if my mum, I actually know. My grandparents were with me. To be honest, I do not remember. I was 3 years old. I was 3, nearly 4. 4 and 6 days. And also on that same day, I was so stressed about the changes that were about to be happening in my life that somehow me as a 3-year-old kicked a very tall man, my father, in the balls. But I have no idea how I did that because I would have been like shorter than his balls at that time. So unless I am in like jump kicked him, I'm not sure how that occurred. Maybe he was lying down, I don't know. So yeah, that's my stories that of autistic childhood that I did not realise were autistic childhood, and also some random anecdotes, because God knows, whenever anybody is telling a story, I must have my own anecdotes, because I cannot prove that I'm interested in the story unless I tell you about the anecdotes of my own experience that is similar. So yeah, Goodbye. If you are interested in watching any other videos from me, you can subscribe. That's what you do on YouTube. So yeah. Bye bye.